The Magic Ladder to Success by Napoleon Hill. Picture this: a young man, barely out of his teens, covered head to toe in coal dust and grime. His entire world exists deep underground, in the suffocating darkness of a mine shaft. Every day looks the same. Every tomorrow feels like a carbon copy of today. He has dreams, sure, but they're fuzzy, distant things that seem to belong to someone else's life, not his. One evening, sitting around a crackling fire, he's deep in conversation with an older friend. They're talking about the usual stuff: the raw deal workers get, the bosses who don't care, the feeling of being trapped in a life with no exit. The young man says something, and suddenly the older man goes quiet. He turns, looks the young man dead in the eye, places a firm hand on his shoulder, and says something that changes everything. "You know, you're a bright kid. If you get yourself out of here and go to school, you're going to make your mark on the world." That's it. One sentence. But for that young man, it was like someone had just handed him a key he didn't even know existed. Nobody had ever called him bright before. Nobody had ever suggested he could make a mark on anything, let alone the world. Right then and there, something shifted inside him. A tiny spark of possibility flickered to life. That young man was Napoleon Hill, and that single moment of encouragement became the spark that ignited everything. He walked away from those coal mines and spent the rest of his life obsessed with one massive question: what makes some people wildly successful while most others just drift? For decades, he studied the giants of his era, over 12,000 people in total. And here's what he discovered: success wasn't some mystical gift handed down to the chosen few. It was a pattern, a series of principles that anyone could learn and apply. He called it the Magic Ladder to Success. This work first appeared in his magazine way back in April 1921, and it became the foundation for his legendary book, Think and Grow Rich. It's a blueprint made up of 16 simple but powerful steps that, when followed, can take you pretty much anywhere you want to go. Today, we're going to climb that ladder together. This isn't some dry theory lesson. We're talking about the real mechanics of what Hill called manpower. By the time we're done, you'll have a crystal clear understanding of this timeless framework. You'll see that success isn't random luck or magic. It's a process, it's a skill, and it's absolutely something you can learn, starting right now. So what exactly is this manpower Hill keeps talking about? He breaks it down beautifully. Power isn't just about knowing stuff. Think about an encyclopedia sitting on your shelf. It's packed with carefully organized knowledge, but the book itself? Completely powerless. It just sits there until someone picks it up, pulls out the information, and actually does something with it. Power, Hill tells us, is organized knowledge, intelligently directed. He uses some brilliant examples to drive this home. Imagine a bag full of chain links scattered around. All the pieces are there to make a strong, useful chain, but until you actually connect them and weld them together, it's just a pile of useless metal. Or think about 1,000 tiny batteries. One battery alone? Pretty harmless. Even 1,000 sitting in a box? Still harmless. But wire them all together, direct all that energy to one single point, and suddenly you've got enough power to run serious machinery. That's exactly how your mind works. We all have these abilities, these mental links or dilus, batteries, floating around in our heads. But for most people, they stay disconnected, scattered. The magic ladder is Hill's method for connecting them, for organizing your internal abilities, so you can aim all that energy at a specific target. Let's start at the bottom of the ladder. The first rung is absolutely essential, because without it, the other 15 don't matter at all. Rung number 1, a definite aim in life. Hill was absolutely shocked when his research showed that 95% of people were just drifting through life. He called them the pariah followers. They had vague wishes like, "I want to be successful," or a kid, "I want to be happy," but that was as far as it went. The other 5%, the leaders, were completely different. The main thing that set them apart? They had a definite purpose and a definite plan for getting there. He hammers home that the most important word there is, definite. A vague aim is basically no aim at all. He compares a person without a definite aim to a ship without a rudder. The ship might have a powerful engine, a solid hull, an experienced crew, but without a rudder, it just burns fuel while spinning in circles, never actually reaching any destination. That's where most people are, busy, hard-working even, but their energy goes nowhere because it's not focused on one specific, definite target. So step 1 is simple: decide what you want, and don't just think about it casually. Hill insists you must write it down. Put on paper a clear, written statement of your definite aim in life. Then write down a plan, as detailed as you can make it, for how you're going to achieve it. There's real psychology behind this. Writing it down makes your thoughts concrete and sends a powerful signal to your subconscious mind. It makes the goal real. He says not to worry if your aim seems small at first. A year from now, you'll probably look back and be amazed at how limited your vision was, because the act of working toward a definite aim naturally expands your confidence and your ability to think bigger. The key is developing the habit of always working with a definite plan. Which brings us straight to the second rung, because a goal without belief is just wishful thinking. Rung number 2, self-confidence. Having a definite aim is great, but you also need to believe you can actually pull it off. Hill makes it clear this isn't about being cocky or arrogant. It's a state of mind, a deep belief in your own ability to follow through on your plan. And here's the beautiful part. He says it's something anyone can develop. This is where his coal mine story comes full circle. That one moment of encouragement planted a seed of self-confidence that grew over many years. It was that budding confidence that gave him the courage to leave the mines, to seek out knowledge, and to become a better, more capable person with each passing year. Self-confidence is the fuel for your definite aim. It's what keeps you moving when things get tough. It's that inner voice saying, "You've got this," when the world seems to be screaming that you don't. Without it, even the most brilliant plan just collects dust. Now, with a clear goal and the confidence to chase it, you need a place to build your plans. This brings us to the mind's workshop. Rung number 4, imagination. Hill describes imagination as the workshop of the human mind. It's where you take old ideas and familiar concepts and rearrange them into new combinations and fresh plans. He tells the story of Thomas Edison inventing the light bulb to illustrate this. Edison didn't invent electricity. He didn't invent glass. He knew that friction in an electric wire created heat and light, but the problem was that any material he used would just burn up. He searched everywhere for something that wouldn't burn. Then his imagination made a connection to a completely different process, making charcoal. When you make charcoal, you burn wood while cutting off most of the oxygen so it smolders without completely burning away. That was the breakthrough moment. He realized if he put the filament inside a glass bulb and removed the air, it could glow without burning out. He combined two known principles in a totally new way, and boom, he lit up the world. Your imagination is where you build the bridge from where you are to where you want to be. It's where you see possibilities before they exist. It's where you take your definite aim and start building an actual plan around it. Hill points out that leaders are always people with imagination. The lack of this quality, combined with no definite aim, is the main reason 95% of people stay followers their whole lives. But a brilliant blueprint in your mind isn't enough. You have to actually start building. This is where the next set of rungs comes in, the ones that turn thought into reality. Rung number 3, initiative. Initiative is that rare quality that pushes someone to do what needs doing without being told. It's the spark that lights action. Someone who only does what they're told will never stand out. But someone who finishes their work and then looks around for other things that need doing? That person gets noticed immediately. They catch the eye of their superiors and get handed more responsibility, which comes with more rewards. All great leaders have initiative. It's the drive to create, to start, to push forward when everyone else is waiting for instructions. It's the proactive force that asks, "What's next? How can I make this better?" And initiative leads directly to what might be the most practical rung on the ladder. Rung number 5, action. This might be the easiest rung to understand, but often the hardest to actually do. Hill puts it plainly. The world pays for only one thing, and that's service rendered, or action. You can have every college degree imaginable. You can have the knowledge of 100 encyclopedias stored in your brain, but unless you organize that knowledge and express it through action, it's completely worthless. He tells a striking story about visiting a park in Chicago and interviewing 7 homeless men during a time when jobs were plentiful and wages were high. He wanted to understand their excuse. Every single one told him basically the same thing: "I'm here because the world wouldn't give me a chance." Think about that. They were waiting for a chance to be handed to them. But Hill asks, did the world ever just give anyone a chance? Or did they have to go out and create it through imagination, self-confidence, initiative, and action? He compares a person without action to a powerful locomotive. It can be sitting on the tracks, full of coal and water, with steam building up, completely ready to go. But it's totally useless until an engineer pulls the throttle and puts it into action. Inside your head, he says, is a machine far more powerful than any locomotive, but it's equally useless until you put it into action. Action is what separates leaders from followers. It's the great divider. And to keep that action going, you need powerful emotional fuel. Rung number 6, enthusiasm. Enthusiasm is the emotional energy that powers action. It's tough to keep moving if you feel flat and uninspired. Hill says enthusiasm often develops naturally when you find work you're truly suited for, work you genuinely love. When you're passionate about your definite aim, enthusiasm flows naturally. It's the joy in the process, the excitement for the journey. It makes difficult work feel less like drudgery and more like a calling. It makes you magnetic. People are naturally drawn to enthusiastic people. It gives your actions a power and vibrancy that simply can't be faked. Of course, action and enthusiasm need to be sustained over time. This requires 2 more essential qualities. Rung number 15, work. This is the shortest word on the ladder, but one of the most important. Hill points to a basic law of nature: what isn't used withers away. An arm tied to your side and never moved will eventually waste away. The same goes for your mind. The qualities outlined in this ladder aren't passive gifts, they're mental muscles. They're yours for one price: persistent, never-ending work. As long as you're exercising your abilities, your imagination, your initiative, your self-confidence, they'll grow stronger and healthier. But if you let them sit idle, they'll weaken and fade. The value of education, he argues, isn't just the facts you learn, but the brain development that happens as you work to acquire that knowledge. It's the exercise that counts. And when that work gets tough, when you hit obstacles, you need the final rung in this engine section. Rung number 12, persistency. Persistency is willpower in action. It's the quality that makes you get back up after you've been knocked down by temporary failure. It's what gives you the faith and courage to keep pushing, no matter what obstacles are in your way. Hill uses the perfect analogy of a bulldog that locks its jaws on an opponent and refuses to let go no matter how much it's shaken. That's persistency. It's the determination to keep your mind locked on your definite objective until it's achieved. It's the unwavering resolve that transforms temporary defeats into ultimate victories. So now we have a definite aim, the self-confidence to pursue it, and the engine of initiative, action, enthusiasm, work, and persistency to drive us forward. But driving a powerful engine is pointless if you can't steer it. The next set of rungs is all about mastering yourself and your relationships with others. Rung number 7, self-control. This is your steering wheel. Hill gets refreshingly honest here, admitting that for 18 long years his greatest enemy was his own lack of self-control. He was argumentative, always looking for a fight, wasting precious time trying to prove others wrong instead of improving himself. He says nobody can become a great leader of others until they first learn to lead themselves, and that starts with self-mastery. But he goes deeper, explaining the physical reason why this matters so much. When someone loses their temper, they aren't really losing it, they're inflaming it. This anger triggers the brain to release chemicals that, when combined, literally form a poison. He even claims an angry person exhales enough poison on their breath to kill a guinea pig. Whether that's literally true or not, the point hits home. Negative mental states like anger, hatred, and cynicism have a real, destructive physical effect on your body. They cloud your judgment and drain your energy. Self-control is the ability to stay master of your emotions, rather than letting your emotions master you. It's what lets you think clearly under pressure and direct your energy constructively. Once you've mastered yourself, you can start mastering your relationships with others. Rung number 9, an attractive personality. You could have all the other qualities, but if people can't stand being around you, your journey to success will be lonely and brutal. An attractive personality has nothing to do with physical looks. It's the sum of all the qualities that make people want to be near you. Hill breaks it down into simple, observable traits. It's in the clothes you wear, your facial expressions, the words you choose. It's in your voice. Is it harsh or pleasant? It's even in your handshake. Is it firm and confident or weak and lifeless? He describes someone with an attractive personality as someone who speaks gently and kindly, who is unselfish and willing to help others, who avoids speaking badly of people, and steers clear of pointless arguments about politics or religion. This person looks for the good in others, smiles often, listens patiently, and encourages people, helping them build their own confidence. Basically, it's about making people feel good when they're around you. It's a skill, and like anything else, it can be developed. And a huge part of that skill involves the next rung. Rung number 14, tolerance and sympathy. Hill calls intolerance one of the world's great curses. He argues it's the root of so much conflict, from wars between nations to fights between bosses and workers. He points out that real power comes from cooperation, not conflict. When people set aside their differences in beliefs, race, or politics, and work together toward a common goal, nothing on earth can stop them. Intolerance grows from a lack of understanding. Sympathy is the cure. It's the ability to see the world through someone else's eyes, to understand their struggles and perspective, even if you don't agree with them. A tolerant and sympathetic person builds bridges where others build walls. They create harmony and inspire teamwork, which is essential for any great achievement. This leads to the final rung in this section, which is arguably the most important principle of all. Rung number 16, the golden rule. Hill says this is the last rung, but it could easily have been first, because it's the shining sun that should light the path for everything else. The golden rule is the philosophy of treating others as you'd want them to treat you. It's about doing unto others as you'd have them do unto you. This isn't just some moral principle, it's a practical guide for using power. All the other rungs help you develop massive personal power. The golden rule is the safeguard that stops you from using that power destructively. It ensures your ambition serves not just yourself, but humanity. It's what creates leaders like Lincoln and Washington instead of tyrants. It guides you to use your strength, confidence, and ambition for constructive, useful service. Without it, the latter can lead to a very dark place. With it, it leads to a life of meaning, happiness, and genuine success. We've covered the foundation, the engine, and the steering. The final set of rungs deals with your most important tool, your mind. This is about how you think, how you focus, and most importantly, how you learn. Rung number 10, accurate thought. This is the skill of separating actual facts from mere information. In our world today, we're drowning in information, opinions, and noise. An accurate thinker learns to examine everything that enters their mind. They ask, is this a fact, or is it someone's opinion? Is this based on evidence, or is it based on anger, bias, or gossip? An accurate thinker then sorts facts into two piles: important and unimportant. They take the important, relevant facts and organize them into a clear judgment or plan of action. This is the heart of critical thinking. It's about not taking anything at face value but weighing the evidence yourself and forming your own intelligent conclusions. It's the quality that protects you from being misled and lets you build your plans on a solid foundation of truth. Once you can think clearly, you need to be able to focus that thinking. Rung number 11, concentration. Concentration is the ability to hold your mind on one single subject until you've thoroughly analyzed it and created a practical plan for it. It's like using a magnifying glass to focus the sun's rays onto a single point until it bursts into flame. Concentration is the process of focusing all the other qualities on this ladder, your imagination, your self-confidence, your knowledge, onto your definite aim. It lets you break down a huge goal into smaller, manageable pieces so you can see how to tackle it bit by bit, just like an engineer plans to move a mountain one shovelful at a time. It's the disciplined art of focusing your mental power instead of letting it scatter everywhere. And what happens when you apply all these principles but things still go sideways? This brings us to what Hill calls the lucky 13th rung, and it's perhaps his most brilliant and counterintuitive insight. Rung number 13, failures. Yes, you heard that right. Failure is a rung on the ladder to success. Hill urges us not to skip this rung because it's one of the most important experiences in life. He completely reframes failure. He says failure is simply nature's way of training you for worthwhile work. It's nature's great testing ground, a tempering process that burns away the weak parts of your character and strengthens what remains. Every failure, every setback, contains a powerful and lasting lesson if you're willing to look for it. Failure develops tolerance, sympathy, and kindness. It teaches you things about yourself and your plans that success never could. He says every person who's gotten back up from the knockout blow of defeat has become a stronger and wiser human being. If you can learn to see failure not as the end, but as a necessary part of your education, as a hidden blessing, then fear loses its grip on you. You'll no longer be afraid to try big things. You'll understand that setbacks aren't signs to quit, but opportunities to learn, adapt, and grow stronger. Each failure becomes a stepping stone you build your ultimate success on. And this brings us to one last practical rung that ties so many others together. Rung number 8, the habit of performing more work and better work than you are paid to perform. This is a powerful strategy for anyone starting out. The person who does just enough to get by will always blend into the crowd. But the person who consistently and willingly does more than what's expected, who delivers more value than they're paid for, that person becomes indispensable. They get noticed. Competition for their services begins. This habit, Hill says, will offset many other weaknesses. It's a clear demonstration of initiative, enthusiasm, and a commitment to excellence. It's not about burning yourself out for no reason. It's a strategic investment in your own future. You're not just working for a paycheck. You're building a reputation. And that reputation becomes your most valuable asset. And that's the ladder. 16 rungs. From the inner work of defining your aim and building confidence, to the outer work of taking persistent action, to the character work of mastering yourself and serving others, to the mental work of thinking clearly and learning from failure. It's a complete system. It is a magic ladder, Hill promises, that will carry you wherever you want to go if you'll just master it and climb. When you step back and look at this ladder, what's truly remarkable is how timeless it is. This was written in 1921, in an era of steam engines and telegrams, yet every single rung feels just as relevant, maybe even more so in our digital, distraction-soaked world. The core message of the magic ladder to success is a powerful antidote to the modern belief that success comes from a single hack, a viral moment, or a lucky break. Hill teaches something much deeper and more lasting. Real success is built from the inside out. It's not something you stumble upon. It's something you construct. You build it by methodically developing your character and organizing your mind. His central idea of organized knowledge, intelligently directed, is a masterclass in effectiveness. Today, we have more access to information than any generation in history, but we also suffer from more distraction and less focus than ever. We have plenty of knowledge but very little organized, directed effort. Hill's ladder is a call to be intentional. It's a call to turn off the noise, decide what truly matters to you, your definite aim, and then systematically organize all your energy and abilities around achieving it. What I find most powerful is his inclusion of rungs, like self-control, tolerance, the golden rule, and especially failure. This isn't just a blueprint for getting rich. It's a blueprint for becoming a better human being. He understood that power without principle is dangerous. Ambition without empathy leads to destruction. And that strength isn't measured by never falling, but by how you get up, learn, and grow stronger after you do. The lucky 13th rung, failure, is a lesson every young person desperately needs to hear. In a world that often celebrates effortless perfection, Hill reminds us that struggle, setbacks, and failure aren't signs of weakness. They're the very process through which strength and wisdom are forged. So how can you start climbing this ladder today, right now? Here are 3 simple, practical actions you can take. First, honor rung number 1. Grab a piece of paper and spend just 15 minutes writing down a definite aim. Don't let it intimidate you. It doesn't have to be your ultimate life purpose. Just make it a clear, specific goal for the next 6 months. I will learn to play 3 songs on guitar, or I will save $500, or I will read 1 book every month. The simple act of choosing a definite target and writing it down will immediately start focusing your energy. Second, practice rung number 8 for 1 week. In every area of your life, at home, at school, with friends, look for one small opportunity each day to do a little more than expected. Clean up without being asked. Help a classmate understand something after class. Stay 5 extra minutes to help tidy up. Do it with a willing, enthusiastic attitude and just observe what happens, both in how others react and, more importantly, in how you feel about yourself. And third, embrace rung number 13. The next time you experience a setback, no matter how small, a bad grade, a mistake, a plan that doesn't work out, stop. Instead of getting frustrated, ask yourself one question. What's the lesson here? Treat it like a puzzle. What did this experience just teach me? Write down the answer. By doing this, you'll start transforming failures from painful endings into powerful new beginnings. Napoleon Hill's ladder isn't magic because it lets you skip to the top. It's magic because it reveals a profound truth. The power to build the life you want is already inside you. It's in your mind, your character, your habits. The rungs of the ladder aren't outside of you. They're qualities waiting to be organized, developed, and intelligently directed. The ladder is there for anyone willing to do the work of climbing. Your future isn't a matter of chance. It's a matter of choice. And the climb begins with a single, definite step. That was a summary of The Magic Ladder to Success by Napoleon Hill. We've explored the core principles today, but let me be clear. A summary is like looking at a map of a beautiful place. The map is useful. It shows you the layout, but it can never replace actually walking the trails, breathing the air, and seeing it for yourself. The real power of Hill's work is in the way his stories and his sincere, powerful voice connect with you as you read. This summary is meant to show you what's possible with this book. If anything we've discussed today has resonated with you, I encourage you to get a copy. Reading it isn't just about absorbing information. It's about letting timeless wisdom reshape how you see yourself and your potential. The link to the book is in the description below. Also, if you found value in today's climb, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. That way, you won't miss our next exploration into another life-changing book from the billionaire's bookshelf. Let's keep climbing and growing together.